Hello! So today we're going to talk about link, or chain link to be precise. And so this is the main count. It's a bullish count. And you can see here wave 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a clear impulse. This is on the monthly chart, by the way. And then we have A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to wave C to complete wave 2. And after that we have a 1, 2, 1, 2. This is a very bullish count because then we're looking for, this is the start of this degrees wave 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have completed this degrees wave 3. So that's a very bullish count. So this is that count. And basically, so here we are just counting the wave 2 a little bit differently, like a WXY, but it doesn't matter for the big picture because we have the wave 2 at the same location, as you can see here. So the only issue with this is that wave 1 looks a bit three-wavy. You can see it with your own eyes, basically, but yeah, that's the thing you are using to watch this video, but you can see it here, like 1, 2, 3, and where's wave 4? You can't really see a wave 4 here. So it looks a bit three-wavy, like an ABC. So that's an issue for this count. So if we are counting this as an ABC, then we have this as an option. This is the same count, but we are here counting this wave. Instead of an impulse up, we are counting it as an correction. So here we have a W and X. So you could argue and say that, all right, but why is it an X instead of a B? Because you can see here that we hit the 127.2 FIM, which is a prime target for an expanded flat. So it's like an A, B, and then a C. So the issue with calling it a B is that we need, if we have an A, B, C, we need to have a, as I just mentioned, a C to finish. And if we are to have a wave C to finish, then it's an impulse. And then we need to count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and wave C needs to finish here. And if that would be a flat, it would be a running flat, which is very low probability. It is very uncommon. It's the most uncommon flat. It do happen in very strong trends, but then it's usually that the wave C misses to take out the origin of wave A, which is here, by just a hair. So it basically truncates the wave C and forms a running flat. So it could happen in a very strong trend, and a link has been on a very strong trend recently. So it is an option, and if it's so, then this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and looking for higher prices, just as we have here, that this count. But you can also argue that this is a WX, and then wave Y needs to be, this is a zigzag, so wave Y can't be a zigzag with a sideways correction. So wave Y needs to be a flat or a triangle. And so far we have wave A here, and then we have wave A, B, and we are finishing basically a wave C. And for this to be flat, it needs to hit at least 0.90, and I believe we just hit that regular flat. Yeah, we just hit 90, which yeah, then it is considered a flat, which fits in the narrative of this wave Y being either a flat or a triangle. So here we are then looking for the finishing wave, basically a C. So here we have A, B, and then a C into a regular flat. So wave C are expected to reach below this the start of wave A, as I just mentioned. Otherwise, it's running flat. It can happen in a super strong trend, but yeah, we need to watch this and see if it's an impulse, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if the 5 just finishes like here, if I put it like a line here, if wave 5 finishes here, around that, very close to this original A, we can maybe think about running flat. But otherwise, we can also have a triangle in the makings. So we have an A, B, C, D, and an E. So it's a WX triangle here, Y. And then a triangle is very explosive. So after a triangle, just look out for way higher prices. But we also need a bearish option. You always need a bearish option in counting Elliott waves. So here we are counting this as a start of basically bear market. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an impulse, which is fine. And then we have a correction, A, B, C, a zigzag, because this counts well as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this, we just mentioned that it looks a bit more 3-wavy. So it could be a C wave, but then the proportions are a bit off because we need to have wave 4 more clearly distinguished. But nonetheless, it is a valid option. It doesn't break any rules or anything like that. So we are true to the Elliott wave rules. But then we need to have an impulse here down as a wave 1. And then we are looking for correction, which in this case fits nicely because this is basically a 3-wave up to wave 2. The only issue is that wave 2 is touching the 886, which is an uncommon target for a wave 2. You can see here, I take it from the origin of the wave 1, and you can see that it hit the 886, and that's as I said, uncommon target for wave 2. It's more common for a wave B or a wave X. But nonetheless, it's not breaking any rules, and it's on the 2-week time frame as well. And that time frame, it tends to have more acceptance to those type of targets. So it can happen often on the higher time frames that it hits the 886, and not so often on the lower time frames. So it is uncommon for wave 2 to hit it, but it's not an invalidation. The invalidation is taking out the high here. So after that, we are looking for lower prices, basically. And so that's the bearish option. So if we move towards the origin here and upwards and break this 31.081, then this scenario, it's very improbable that it is like a 1-2 bearish scenario, basically. And this is, I did it a bit more detailed. So here we have the same count, but we are dissecting basically the count. So you can see it counts the same basically as the bullish count. Only issue here is that this wave 1 needs to be counted like this. So it's like a 1, A, B, C to 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you have a triangle wave 4 and then finishing a wave 1. It doesn't break any rules or anything like that, but you can see that the volume doesn't really follow the guidelines for having a clear increase in volume for wave 3. So this is, it's a bit easier to count this with more higher probability as being corrective than impulsive. But as I said, it doesn't break any rules, so yeah, it's good to be aware of. So, but here we have basically a finished wave C. So that was the bearish option, and the bullish count here. We are counted these as a W, X, and then a Y. And then the same count here for the bullish count as the bearish, as you see here. So the only difference here is that in the bearish count, we are done. We have the C wave in place and now looking for an impulse down. And in the main bullish count, we are looking for higher prices. So we don't want really to break this structure here. We don't want to hit this, because then the 1, 2, like 1, 2, 1, 2 scenario goes out the window. And yeah, that's not good for the bulls, because then we need to count like 1, 2, and then what? We can't really count an A, B, C here, because we hit way high target here. You see at 200%. That's unheard of for an expanded flat. So it's no good for the bulls. You put it like that to take out this structure or this price point. So keep an eye on that. But nonetheless, we are looking for higher prices until price tells us otherwise with invalidation points. So yeah, that was a link for you. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.